And welcome back. Now, one of the true beliefs of His Majesty the King seems to be that you're never too old to learn. He puts a great importance on lifelong learning, not just for himself, but also for the kingdom and the people of Thailand, including many of the royal development projects that we've seen just moments ago. He spends a lot of time researching, coming up with new ideas, whether it's rainmaking, boat manufacture, agriculture. He applies the constant process of learning to be able to actually help his people.
And you'll be able to see a lot of photographs of His Majesty studying maps and studying many, many things. The royal speeches always emphasize that everyone has to learn and the importance of learning in everyday life, and also education for each and everyone.
Talking about education for each and everyone, it's important to emphasize that not all Thai people have the opportunity to continue a lifelong education, at least not so easily. And so he actually grants a number of scholarships, is that correct?
Yes, since 1952 His Majesty has been granting scholarships for students who have good behavior and good academic scores, but lack the financial means to carry on studying. And this has been done in order to help them to pursue studies in foreign countries, starting with the Bhumipol Fund and Anantamahidol Fund.
You know, another interesting thing to look at is the teaching styles that His Majesty the King has tried to impress upon people, trying to depart away from that teacher-centered style of the classroom, looking more as a student-centered, looking at people's potential, their learning abilities, their learning styles, and trying to find what is the best fit, what is the best way to learn, what is the best way to apply your effort and your knowledge to get the most benefit from it. And it's something which is, you know, it's like a modern style of teaching. It's kind of, I'd say, a buzzword in education today, but something that His Majesty the King has always tried to practice.
Coming up now, we have an interview with an Anantamahidol scholar and also the book written by the king called the Mahashanok book, which will be introduced to you in order to give you more insight.
As we all know, His Majesty the King has dedicated himself to so many areas. One particular area, of course, that is important to the nation is education. And the Anantamahidol Awards were established some many years ago. What are those awards? And we thought we'd take the opportunity to interview one of the recipients. The lady concerned is actually at Chulalongkorn University, Faculty of Arts, and she is a lecturer in philosophy. I'd like to welcome Dr. Supakawadi Amatyagun. Good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
It's very special for us to be able to pay tribute to His Majesty the King, and what His Majesty has done for education in this country is perhaps second to none. But the Anantamahidol Awards are very special. Can you just give us a little of the history of the awards?
Yes, of course. The Anantamahidol Scholarship was first given out in the year 1955, and the Anantamahidol Foundation was actually founded in 1959. Since then, 303 people altogether have received this prestigious scholarship, 254 of which have already returned to the country and have already graduated. Now, in the very beginning, the scholarship was limited only to graduates in the field of medicine. But later on, it has been extended to various other fields, ranging from science, technology, and engineering to agriculture, social science, and even the arts and humanities. Now, His Majesty the King's Human Development Project through education bespeaks his great vision. For in growing countries such as Thailand, education does function as the integral foundation of national development in all aspects. And it is worth noting that initially His Majesty the King's emphasis was on the fields of medicine, science, and technology, right, which mirrored the scarcity and the necessity of knowledge and personnel in those areas in our country at the time. And later on, the expansion of the scholarship into the arts and humanities suggests the significance of nourishing the human mind. which is also another essential feature of a balanced development.
Right. And of course one can understand why His Majesty started with medicine and science, because his father, of course, was a medical doctor.
That's correct.
Now, if we actually look at the Foundation's objectives, what are they?
Oh, one of the major objectives of the foundation is to promote higher education and to support promising students so that they can return to the country and contribute in its development through transmission of knowledge. Now, although Ananta Mahidol scholars work in both public and private sectors, almost all of them are in some way or another involved in passing on the knowledge that they acquired. Now, examples of scholars who have contributed a great deal to the country include Dr. Jarat Suwanwela, right? Dr. Kasem Watanashai, Dr. Pravek Basi in the field of medicine, Kun Pramod Maiklat in agriculture, Dr. Narong Yutanam in engineering, Dr. Pratya Vesarat in political science and education, and Dr. Kunding Surya Ratanakun in linguistics.
Now, for you to have actually achieved success, I mean, we were talking prior to the interview, you actually had been accepted to another university and you heard that maybe you would have the chance of getting the Ananta Mahidol Award. You didn't know you actually had it, but you cancelled the other scholarship and you decided to wait. Obviously a great decision, but does the award mean so much to you personally?
Yes, it does. It was my greatest honor and pride to be awarded with this prestigious opportunity. And I was actually, I was awarded the scholarship after I graduated from the Faculty of Arts right here in 1993.
So this is a home away from home.
Yes, it is. I am the first scholarship recipient in the humanities to pursue a master's and a PhD degree in philosophy.
And how was that accepted? I mean, were people saying, why do you want to get involved in philosophy? And my question is, why?
Right. Well, like other subjects in the humanities, philosophy tends to be overlooked or branded as belonging in the ivory tower.
Yes.
And most people might question what or how students of philosophy could contribute to the concrete development of the country. Now, philosophy teaches you to think critically and systematically. Right, and it also teaches you to analyze the underlying assumptions and the implications of complicated social issues so that you can identify the sources of the problem and maybe then begin to solve them effectively.
Are there many students in Thailand, around Thailand, particularly at Chulalongkorn University, studying now philosophy?
We have, well, at the undergraduate level, we don't have a very big number of philosophy majors. But since it is a subject that might require some sort of emotional maturity, we have a very, well, impressive number in graduate students.
Would you say that you have a passion for philosophy?
Yes, I do. That's why I'm doing this.
And this is something that you actually weren't originally planning to do, but one lecture, I believe, changed your life.
Yes, I was fortunate to have had, many good mentors around here who have, given me proper guidance as to, what might be interesting and all that. So I was fortunate, very fortunate in that
I know
sense.
you're teaching here and you're a guest lecturer because of your speciality. Do you have any time to relax?
I try to find the time to relax.
But obviously you have to also do a lot of research as well.
Yes, I also conduct academic researches in philosophy, in the hope that knowledge in my field will be deepened, broadened, and hopefully disseminated to a wider audience.
I'd like to thank you very much for joining us on this special day, because for the whole week, as you know, we're having a special tribute to His Majesty the King's 60th ascension to the throne. Here is a lady who has done very well. It's not just, this is the whole point, it's not just the money, it's not just the honour of getting this particular award, but it's what it actually gives the students. And to actually be a King's Scholar, I think you must be obviously very, very proud.
I am.
Thank you very much.
His Majesty the King not only strives for a better quality of life and well-being for his subject, but also accentuates substantially on education. The story of Mahachanok has been translated from Bali to Thai and to English, and then has been given approval by His Majesty to publish a book in 1996. The story of Mahachanok is based on Achadok, a Buddhist religious tale from the Holy Tripitaka. It is a story about perseverance, one of the 10 principal virtues practiced by King Mahachanok, and the story tells how it brought progress and prosperity to the city of Mithila. The story of Mahachanok has demonstrated King Bhumibol Adulyadej's literary talents. In the story, King Mahachanok, through great perseverance, without desire for reward, gains the throne and brings prosperity to the kingdom. The story reinforces the king's visions of self-reliance and his formula for economic self-sufficiency. The Mahachanok book is the bestseller. His Majesty thereby has encouraged Buddhists at all levels, personal, community, and national, to return to the value of Buddhism and to base economic activity and policy on the Buddha's teaching. And that's all for today. Thank you and goodbye. Sawadee ka.